The Daves talk about the fact that they did not build a power for themselves, they built it for you. And so one of the things I sat down and I thought about was, how could I do something for Boston? So we've created a plan called All In for Boston. And I don't know, do we have a video show? Yeah.
Security team on the events of Boston. We're continuing to monitor and respond to the situation as it unfolds. The American people will say a prayer for Boston tonight. We don't yet have all the answers, but we do know that multiple people have been wounded, some gravely, in explosions in the Boston Marathon. We are Americans, united in concern for our fellow citizens. All Americans stand with the people of Boston. Any responsible individuals, any responsible groups will feel the full weight of justice. Bostonians will pull together, take care of each other, and move forward as one proud city. And as they do, American people will be with them every single step of the way.
So, I know a lot of people told me they have friends and family in Boston, and we had, obviously a lot of people were hurt. So we decided that what we're going to do is, I'm wearing a bracelet called All In for Boston. We're selling these out front at the merchandise. All of that proceeds will go directly to the American Red Cross. So I invite you to get yours while they're still there, because I anticipate that we'll sell those out quickly. They're $5 each, and like I said, all the proceeds of that will go to the American Red Cross. But right now, we're prepared to do a little something special with our Get Money, Give Money box. There are 3 people who have been selected at random out in the audience. I'm going to ask them to come down. I'm going to ask our models to come out, our Empower Network models. And I ask those people to come down right now. Run down. I know where you are. I know where you are. There's 3 of you. Where are you? Come on down. There's 1. Where's the other 2? You're right here. I do not know how this works. Obviously, on is good. Who knew on worked? We got 2. Where's the 3rd? That's it. Okay. What's your name?
Mason.
Mason, where are you from?
South Florida.
South Florida. Right next to our office?
Yeah, a little bit south of that, yeah.
How long have you been with the Empower Network?
Since January 4th.
January 4th. Mason, we're glad to have you.
Yes, sir. Dream team.
Yep. Dream team. Rachel. And how long have you been with the Empower Network?
Not for a year.
And where are you from?
We're from Colorado.
From Colorado. I have a 3rd one. There it is. Okay, I was like, where's my 3rd one? I can't believe it. I thought it was Randy Jackson running up the steps. We might be related. He's a little close. He has more hair than I do, though. What's your name?
Tommy Williams.
Tommy, where are you from?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis! That's not where it's down. We are related. How long have you been with Empower?
December. Yeah.
Great. So what we're going to ask you to do is, you're going to go into the Get Money, Give Money box for 15 seconds. And you can do everything but pick money up off the ground. And whatever you get out of there, we're going to add 2 zeros to it and donate it to the American Red Cross. So if they find $19, we're going to donate $1,900 to the American Red Cross. So you want to start first? All right, big man, come on in. We'll let you in here. There you go. So again, the rules are, you can do everything but pick it up off the ground. You ready? Go. I'm not gonna write up the other part, it takes too long. Ladies, if you guys can come on up here. Everybody come on up. That's too high for me, I'm short. So, this is just the beginning. This is what we're going to start with. You're going to go out and buy the All In for Boston bracelets, and we're going to make this happen. All In for Boston.
Today, I was briefed by my Homeland Security team on the events in Boston. We're continuing to monitor and respond to the situation as it unfolds. The American people will say a prayer for Boston tonight. We don't yet have all the answers, but we do know that multiple people have been wounded, some gravely, in explosions in the Boston area. We are Americans. We are concerned for our fellow citizens. All Americans stand with the people of Boston. Any responsible individuals, any responsible groups will feel the full weight of justice. Bostonians will pull together, take care of each other, and move forward. As we're proud the city, and as they do, the American people will be with them every single step of the way.
So, thanks everybody for that. You make sure you get out there and buy your bracelet. So, I'm supposed to announce a video contest. I'm going to announce that in a second, but I have to do something because every once in a while you get an opportunity to thank someone who really got you where you are. A lot of people don't know this. I'm a lawyer, which is a really bad thing. Don't hold that against me. Well, actually, there's a lawyer coming up after me. Don't hold that against me either. You know, there were times when, you know, a lot of us, how many have a single mom they were raised by? Okay? Yeah, so you know what that's like when she has to work and she's trying to raise you, trying to make it happen, you know? Really tough, right? Try to provide that nurturing environment, make the money, do what she has to do. That's tough. And I have the opportunity to be raised by someone like that who installed some values in me that made me successful. And I'm very grateful for that. And she also taught me to speak. I know I'm not supposed to tell a story, 10-second story. She taught, there was an Optimist Club International thing when I was 13, and I was very introverted. She said, you will go and speak at this. You had to memorize the speech for 5 minutes. And the name of the speech, I could actually do it now to this day, is called Today's Challenge, Tomorrow's Success. Do it! And she sat down and helped me write the speech. And the reason why I'm not is I don't want to keep you here till 12 o'clock tonight either. So, she helped me write this speech. We sat down, we wrote it together, and then she made me practice it every day for 2 weeks in the mirror with gestures and everything. And then we were riding to the contest. It was just she and I in the car. And those of us who are old enough know this. It was called, there's a group called Radio, Ray Parker Jr. It was Jack and Jill in the song. You know, Jack went down the hill. Anyway, I remember that. I don't know why I remember all this. But sitting in the car next to me was this woman driving me to this contest who was telling me, honey, you're going to be great tonight. Honey, you're going to be great tonight. And I won. And then she said, well, what's the next contest? Oh, it was the regionals. I won. And then it was the states. I won. And so all the way driving to all these really far away places, having to take off from work, having to make all this happen was this one person. And I'm going to introduce you to her. My mom, Joy Moore. So anyway, I'm supposed to announce this video contest. Let's get to that. So, first ever annual, I don't know how they say that, like annual. We have the next year of it, but we'll do it anyway. First ever video contest for Empower Network for announcing. We're going to have more details on the website, but here's what you need to know. We're going to have 3 semi-finalists are going to be selected in the following 3 categories. One is on event stories. So if you're videoing anything from this event, we're going to have a contest for the 3 best videos from this event. Then we're going to have a contest later on between now and Denver for the 3 best product story videos, like about the Inner Circle or about Master Series. And then lastly, we're going to have 3 best videos about personal stories. How Empower Network has touched your life and made your life better. So we're going to have those. Those 9 people will be flown, all expenses paid, treated like kings and queens in the next location, which I'm not supposed to say. That would have been a really bad mistake. I almost said it. Almost flipped it up. Boy. At our next event location in July. So that's what you need to know. So if you're already videoing, be ready. There'll be rules to go with it. But we're excited to see your stories. We haven't named the awards yet. I suggested the baddies, but I don't know. So if you have suggested names, I'll take those too. So if you see me running around for the awards, we're going to give out a trophy, like the Oscar, we're going to give you that. And those videos will be shown on our website. And then those videos will be shown at our next location. And the audience will get to pick who wins. So another reason to be at our next location. So I am done. Thanks for coming. I wish I could have done more with the weather. We look forward to seeing you at the party tonight. You will not believe what we have planned for you. The team parties are going to be great. Looking forward to seeing those. And God bless and thanks for coming to Chicago.
Keep it going for Jerry Ballard, right? Over here at Money Grab Machine, I'm calling Jerry. It's like a money lobster. Get some. All right. Your next speaker, he's the corporate attorney. So if you guys are tired, this is the nap portion. If you guys want to snooze a bit. He's been here before. He's a great guy. He's actually a lot of fun. Let's give it up for Mr. Kevin Thompson, everybody. Give it up.
How you doing? I noticed you guys were kind of dragging in this morning, taking your time. Means you guys had a good time last night, I take it, right? Good. I tell you, for those of you that were in Atlanta last year, I had the privilege of speaking a year ago. Who was there in Atlanta? It's grown a little bit, hasn't it? Just a little bit. And I tell you, based on some of the numbers, you guys are going to more than double a year from now. It's pretty exciting. So congratulations to you guys. But no, seriously, it is such an honor to be here for the second time. I was talking to Dave Wood, and I was telling him, I really appreciate getting the invitation for the second time. And Dave told me, he goes, Kevin, I'll be honest with you. I didn't give you a lot of time in Atlanta because you being a lawyer and all, we thought you were going to suck. And he goes, you can take a little bit more time tomorrow. So that was nice of him. That's one of the things I love about the Daves. They're very honest. Even if it means being brutally honest. But no, I'm an attorney. I represent a lot of startup companies in this profession, and it's been such a pleasure for me to see this company grow from its humble beginnings to the organization that it's maturing into. And, there was a time when you guys were the underdog. Just a little internet thing. These guys have a unique 100% payout idea. Maybe it'll work a little bit, but I think right now you're more than the underdog. You guys are a serious contender, so congratulations. I competed in the decathlon in college, and I'm a very competitive person. The same with my wife. She's a 3-time Olympic trial qualifier. And, the closest that I can get to that competitive spirit is working with young companies. I mean, the entrepreneurs that I get to work with, they're crazy, right? They are. They're different shades of crazy. They want to change the world. That's right, that's right. They have a unique product, a unique service, a unique opportunity, throw a pay plan on it, and they make it go. And it's so fun for me because you know what? The marketplace, this country, we need more people stretching, growing, learning, chasing prosperity. We do. We need more people like you. We need more people like you. So at the last talk in Atlanta, I talked about the factors that separate the good companies from the companies that really don't make it. You know, we talked about leadership and we talked about product and compliance and whatnot. But today we're going to talk about the one thing that makes companies truly great. What separates good companies from the really great ones. And we're going to talk about trust. If I were to title this talk, I would title it The Economics of Trust. Because Stephen Covey, Jr., son of the guy who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, good book. Stephen Covey Jr. wrote The Speed of Trust. And in that book, he says there is a quantifiable economic benefit to trust. When an organization has trust, decisions get made faster. Things get done faster. There's less bureaucracy, which means costs go down. When you have an organization with suspicion, you don't really trust each other. The salespeople don't really trust the company. They don't trust corporate. Things get done a little slower. You know, a good example of an organization that has invested a lot of money in building up its brand and building up its trust is Apple. That's an obvious one. Right? 3 years ago, they launched a brand new product, the iPad, and most of us went out and bought it. We didn't even know we needed one. We didn't even know we needed one. But they said it was a cool product. They said it would work. We trust this company. You know, when they put their logo on a product, we think it's going to be good, and we go with them. That's some serious trust. And so what separates the smaller companies from the really great companies is trust. You know, with me and my firm based out of Nashville, Tennessee. I love Nashville. Anybody here from Tennessee? My people. It's great. You know, Nashville's great. It's called Heartbreak Town because people go there with a dream and a guitar, right? And some make it, some don't. But there's a lot of passion in that community, and I love that. But we built our firm out of Nashville, Thompson Burton. When it came time to finding a partner, I wasn't looking for somebody that was just good. I was looking for somebody I trusted. So I found a person who was incredibly talented. I found somebody who I trusted, a military man, Walt Burton. He has nothing to do with my space, but we're building a firm and having a good time doing it. Our number one asset, every company's number one asset, it's not the technology or the computers or the office building. It's not the pay plan. It's the trust that it amasses and builds in the community. Period. If there's no trust, there's no business. So how do companies in this profession go from, you know, being like everybody else to taking it to that next level where you build what's called, what Stephen Covey calls market trust, right? Market trust is where when the logo is on something, when the consumer sees the logo, they say, that's legit. That's called market trust. Organizational trust is, you know, that's a lower tier level of trust. That's for the entity itself. People inside the business trust each other. But when people in the community start to trust a brand, that's a big deal. And so how do companies in this profession go from one level to the next? And the answer is, I thought about this for a long time, the answer is pretty simple. They invest considerable resources, and they purposefully build a professional and ethical sales culture. I'm going to repeat that. They purposefully build an ethical and professional sales culture. It doesn't just happen by itself. It's true. And these days are committed to doing that. It doesn't happen on accident. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Some entrepreneurs make it, some don't. The ones that don't really make it, they just think, we got a great product, we got to get a great pay plan, go. And it doesn't really happen, right? There needs to be a little bit of premeditation. So the ones that are doing really well purposefully build an ethical and professional sales culture. So we've got this compliance thing, right? So how can companies build a professional sales culture? Well, they can take some ownership in how the field operates. they can take some ownership and how the field is properly educated. Now here's the good news. The good news is you guys have a platform, you've got a model, and you can do some amazing things with it. And when you're out there building your businesses, you represent the brand of this company. The bad news is that you all, the person to your right, the person to your left, you guys represent the brand of this company. It's the same thing. It's a double-edged sword. 99% of you can do things textbook, crispy, perfectly clean, squeaky clean. It's that 1%, as this organization grows, that can potentially lead to some issues. And so Empower Network, with the growth curve that it's on, has decided to make some investments in good old-fashioned compliance training. Yeah, and it's going to roll out, I think, no later than 2 weeks from now, possibly sooner. So when a new prospective affiliate enrolls in the business, they're met with 20 minutes of training, maybe 25 minutes. Now, I know the last thing that your prospects want to see is a lawyer in a suit talking about corporate compliance, right? Yeah, seriously, you see lawyers give speeches, it's like watching Eeyore give a seminar. I lost my tail. Let's talk compliance. I know that. We try to be a little different, and David Sharp knows that. So David Sharp said, let's do it in my house, do it conversational, to where, you know, it's in a format that's easy to understand, easy to digest, easy to watch. And so we accomplished that. And that's going to roll out here pretty soon. Some of the topics that we cover, and we only have time to go over a couple. We're going to talk about income claims. And here's the thing about income claims. The good news is they're legal. You got to make them. I make income claims. My son makes income claims. He was telling, I give my son, he's 5 years old. He's the oldest of 3. So those of you that are good at math, right now you're thinking, damn. Yeah, me too. My wife and I didn't really think that through. So we've got 3 kids under the age of 5, and I tell Luke, if you clean up the playroom, you get $5. Luke tells my daughter, Sienna, who's almost 4, you clean up the playroom, I'll give you $3. You clean it up a lot, you can buy a pony. He's brilliant. A little misleading, but the effort's there, the spirit's there. Income claim is normal. You got to answer the question, what's in it for me? You're meeting with a prospect, they want to know, what's in it for me? Bottom line. But when you talk numbers, you got to show the average earnings. Right? That's the trick. That's what the Federal Trade Commission wants. Whenever you discuss numbers, whether you're doing it on Facebook, for example, when you're talking about the money that you can make in this opportunity, you got to provide a link to the income disclosure statement. And you don't have to remember this right now, right? The compliance training's come out. It's all right there. This is an overview. You guys like to hold those checks, put a link to the income disclosure statement. Face-to-face, hand over a PDF. Now, there's a little bit of a double standard. I know what you're probably thinking. You're thinking, so wait a second. There's an 18-year-old kid can get $50,000 in student loans for an education that might be outdated when they graduate. They don't get any disclaimers. You'd be right. You'd be right. But as my grandfather always said, just deal with it. It's just the way it is. So when we're dealing with consumers, the Federal Trade Commission, they want to see some disclosures. Another issue is the positioning of a product. And this will be the last one that we talk about. How do you position the product versus the opportunity? Because in reality, you all are affiliates, at least most of you, I think. And you all are charged with selling the information, selling the platform, not just selling the pay plan. The pay plan is lucrative, and that's a good tool when you're recruiting affiliates. But at the end of the day, it's about introducing this unique technology platform, this unique information into the marketplace. And so as you're out there talking to folks, you got to talk about the value of the product. The emphasis of your marketing strategy, the emphasis of your message should be weighted towards the actual product. And the good thing is you got a pretty cool product. Right? It's not like you need to hide everything. I mean, it's an amazing technology platform. what is it, $100 or something to get this WordPress site? I mean, I've spent thousands of dollars to a programmer in India, right, for a WordPress site. What is it? 25. That's unbelievable. So, and here's another thing. It's very common for people, like compliance was the buzzword in 2012, and it still is the buzzword in this profession. It's very common for people to talk about ethics and talk about integrity, and it's an entirely different thing to actually commit to it. Because the companies that want to go from good to great, they want to make sure that people are being fully transparent about the potential. They want to make sure that people, when they get in this business, they're getting in for the right reasons. And they want to put measures in place to make sure that happens. You know, there's a funny story back to my son Luke. And he said, "Dad, when I get older, I'm going to have a mustache." I didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth next. And I said, "Okay. Why do you want to grow a mustache?" And he says, "Because it'll make me tough and I'll be able to beat you up." Okay? In the mind of a child, right, all his cartoon characters, they have facial hair, they're tough. And I'm thinking, oh, Chuck Norris, right? Chuck Norris is tough, he got a mustache. I was thinking maybe Tom Selleck, but my wife goes, "Oh no, he's just handsome." That's what my wife said, he's just handsome, he's not tough. So, there's really no correlation. Right? In the mind of a child, they see the facial hair, they think tough. It takes really, and I explained to Luke, it's the character. It's what they do that separates the heroes from the people that are not heroes. It's the decisions they make, it's their actions. The same it is with companies. It's easy to talk compliance, but at the end of the day, are you living up to those values? In this company, they're investing some resources to make sure that they are, and that's very impressive, and I want to applaud the company for that. There's a great quote that I saw recently by a guy that I really studied a few years ago, Sir Ernest Shackleton. Ernest Shackleton was a British explorer, and he set out to explore the last frontier. And for you Trekkies out there, I'm not talking about outer space. He set out to explore Antarctica. And he got his ship, the Endurance, and was stuck in ice. Him and 22 other people. They were out there for a year and a half in Antarctica. And through his leadership, through his heroism, through his character, not a single person died. He's a really remarkable person. And so when he says things and he writes things, I pay attention. He wrote this quote that I think is appropriate for this kind of segment. He said, "Life to me is the greatest of all games. The danger lies in treating it as a trivial game, a game to be taken lightly, a game in which the rules don't matter much. The rules matter a great deal. And even to win the game is not the chief end. The chief end is to win it honorably." Now, that's right. The chief end is to win it honorably. Now, in this profession, there's a lot of companies out there. A lot of them are fantastic, some are not. And the reality is the federal government is only so big. They can't catch all the bad guys. So if you measure winning by dollars, there's a lot of folks winning. But are they doing it honorably? And the answer is, in some cases, unfortunately, it's no. Right? But now for folks that want to be in business for a long time, they want to build that market trust. They want to go from survival mode to legacy mode. They want to do it honorably. They want to do it to where when people see that logo, when they see that brand, they think, man, that's a great company. I trust those guys. I heard somebody was in that business, they had a good experience. I heard somebody said no to an affiliate. They were treated with respect and love, and they were still appreciated. That's a good company, right? That doesn't just happen. That takes purposeful decisions by the company. And so, you know, my parting word with you all, if I were to take my lawyer hat off and put on a friend hat or a concerned citizen hat, it would be, you know, there's a fire in your gut. You're here for a reason. I really enjoy meeting with folks like you because you're different. You just are. You know, you are. More people should try to keep up and focus on their own prosperity instead of keeping up with the Kardashians. Right? fly out to a seminar to get some good information, to get some motivation that could potentially change your life. If that's weird, to hell with it. Who wants to be normal? And so my parting word would be this: whether this is the end of your journey or if it's just the beginning, be great at something. Right? The world needs more people out there pushing themselves. That's the cure, in my opinion, for a lot of ills. People that are just willing to be prosperous, that are willing to grow and develop and become the best you that you can be. If you end up and you go back to be a teacher, be the best teacher that you can be. But make that decision and make that commitment. And with that being said, it's such an honor to be here again for the second time with you guys. You guys have been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.